Holy shit. You did it. You made it to video number 4. That is something to celebrate. I'm celebrating you. If you're not sick of my voice yet, then just bear with me a little bit longer because we are in the home stretch now. And this is where the juicy stuff happens. This is where the magic happens. We tie everything together. Because in this video, I'm going to talk about the best way to convert leads, aka people who've reached out to you saying, I'm kind of interested, into clients, aka people who are paying you money to want to work with you. This is the fun stuff, guys. This is the second stage in our 10K per month client model. After we've got those leads, now it's time to sell those leads. And we need to have what we call a sales call. And yes, that means that you need to actually speak with someone over the phone. And I know there's many people out there right now who are listening to this who go, oh, fuck, no, I don't want to speak to someone over the phone. And I get that. But you cannot expect cold prospects being people who have come from an ad, they don't really know you, they might have spent a few minutes watching a video or an ad or consuming your content. You can't expect a cold prospect, someone like that, to give you $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 without first speaking to you over the phone. It's just a necessary skill that you're going to have to learn, okay? And if you don't do this, if you don't put effort into learning sales, then I promise that you'll make less money. I promise you. I see people quite often online who preach, when I'm talking about people, I mean online coaches who preach not using sales calls and selling in your DMs. And they say people will waste your time on sales calls. Well, I can promise you that that person would be making more if they actually learned sales and got on the phone, and it would also allow them to charge more for their products. And I'm telling you right now, well, actually I'm asking you right now, would you speak to someone online that you've never spoken to in person or on the phone, and they send you a link to buy a $2,000 or $3,000 program? Would you just go hit that link and buy? If you do, then I don't know what to tell you, because that's just wild to me. I would never do that. I want to see the person in face-to-face or speak to them over the phone at the very minimum, but I want to see their face if I speak to them over the phone. So that's why I like to do video call for my sales calls. That's Google Meet, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, whatever, doesn't matter. But face, so I can see someone's face, and that is the ultimate way to sell. Now, sales is also a very transferable skill, which means that when you learn sales, it's going to help in so many other aspects of your life as well. Even if you decide down the track 1, 5, 10 years away that you don't want to be a health coach anymore, if you know sales, you can get yourself a new job much, much, much easier because you can sell yourself. You can even go into sales if you want. You can start another kind of business and you'll have a much, much easier time growing that business. So sales is a completely, very, very, one of the most transferable skills as a person who you're basically intrinsically in your mind, you're basically designed to communicate with others. You need that communication and that closeness with others. And that's something that sales is going to help you with. And always going to help you with, even in this world of AI and digitalization and all that kind of stuff. I'm just ranting now, so I'm going to get on with the video, okay? So I promise you need to learn sales. You'll make a lot more money if you learn sales. Now, there are many people out there who will teach you different kinds of sales frameworks, and there's no one best sales framework. I found that for different businesses, different kinds of sales frameworks and methodologies work better. But here is what I've found works best for health coaches. It's what I like to call spin selling, S-P-I-N selling. Because you basically, when you jump on a sales call, you don't want to be a sleazy kind of street merchant that jumps on a call and basically goes, I've got this program, this is what's included, buy my shit, here it is. People go, whoa, I don't want to buy that. And your close rate, when I say close rate, I mean the percentage of people who you sell, will be very, very low, especially if you're talking to people who aren't super aware of you. That might work if people have been following you for years and they trust you. But if people have come across an ad yesterday, booked a call with you today, you're not going to sell people if you just say, hey, welcome to my sales call, here's my product, would you like to buy it? It's not going to work. So rather than being a sleazy street merchant that's just grabbing people's arms and being like, please buy my stuff, rather than doing that, be a doctor. Put your doctor hat on. And when you go to a doctor's office, what do you call them? Office? Doctor's, whatever, studio, office, whatever. The doctor doesn't just go, oh, here's this medication. The doctor will talk to you first. Hey, what's going on? symptoms have you had? How long has it been going on for? And they'll ask a few questions so they can diagnose you with some kind of problem and then find a solution that's going to work for you and your lifestyle to fix that problem that you've told them about. And that is what you want to do as a salesperson. Sales isn't about pressuring or tricking someone into buying. So we're not a sleazy sales merchant trying to use these bargaining tactics and special tactics to get people to say yes. There are many of those people out there in the sales world who will try and teach you these little sleazy tactics to try and get these psychological tricks to try and get you more sales. And whilst that might work in the short run, in the long run, you're just going to burn bridges, you're going to piss people off, and it's not going to be worth it. So channel your inner doctor, ask questions, and prescribe a solution, your solution being your program. And we're going to prescribe that solution and ask questions with the spin selling framework that I mentioned before. That is S for situation, P for problem, I for implication, and N for need payoff. Now, I'm going to go through over the next few slides, I'm going to go through each of these mean. But if you want a more in-depth look at the spin selling method, then I'd recommend reading the book Spin Selling by Neil Rackham, I think his name is. It was written in the 80s, so it's not like a new method. It's a time-tested, proven method that's been around for a long time. Okay, this is just a quick overview into Neil Rackham's method. S stands for situation. And this is the first stage of the spin selling process. We want to get information about their current situation. So that might be like asking a question that, depending on what niche you're in, of course, I'm just going to use binge eating as an example, but you're saying, hey, tell me about your current struggles with binge eating. Or if you're in a different niche, that might be like, tell me about your current struggles with sleeping, or your pain or shoulder pain or neck pain or whatever they've told you about previously. And here in this S situation phase, we just want to get as much information about everything around this problem in general. Okay, so we're asking questions. And then P is for problem, the second stage of the spin selling framework. And for the problem phase, we want to be asking questions to find out what's stopping them from solving this issue that they just told you about. So what's the problem here? They might say, oh, I'm binge eating, and I guess that is a problem, but what's the true problem? Why can't they stop binge eating on their own? And that's what we want to find out here. So we want to ask questions to find out what's stopping them from fixing that issue that they told you about. For example, what's stopping you? You've told me about this binge eating. What's stopping you from actually doing something about this? And now they might tell you, oh, I have tried this stuff. I've been on and off diets. I've tried working with this other person, and I just really I feel like I don't have the willpower, or I always drop off. And this is the juicy shit, the problem, why they're on the call today. And then we're getting into even more juicy shit with I. This is the third stage of the spin selling process, because I stands for implication. And now we're going to find out how these problems, what they've told you about, and all the stuff they've told you about up to this point, we're going to find out how these problems are affecting their life. Okay? So that might look like a question that says something like, and what has this led to? So if they tell you about binge eating and how they've tried all this stuff and have been binge eating for 5 years, blah, 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 you might ask them, and what has this binge eating led to? How is this affecting your life right now? And they might tell you, oh, it's ruined my confidence. I can't go out with my friends anymore. My kids are picking up my binge eating habits and my bad habits with food and stuff like that. And it's just making me really miserable. Or if it's a completely different problem, let's give you the example of lower back pain. Oh yeah, my lower back pain, it's reduced my quality of life. I can no longer play tennis, and I love tennis so much. I played tennis for 30 years, and this lower back pain is just killing me, and I can't play with my grandkids, and blah, blah, blah. So that's the implication. And this is key. You have to listen very closely to this stage, because these pain points that people are going to tell you about, when I say pain points, I mean basically things that the reason they're on that call, the reason why binge eating is a problem for them, or the reason why the back pain is a problem for them. There's always a deeper reason. It's something that's stopping them from doing something, or it's affecting some part of their life. So these are the pain points. And knowing what people's pain points are is absolute key to closing the sale, because you can use that later on in the sale. And then N, the final stage of spin selling, is need payoff. And this need payoff stage is about asking questions to get them thinking about how their life would be different if they solved this issue. So let's take the back pain example and use that. You might ask, so if you could completely fix this back pain, how would your life be different? And the guy might be like, oh, I would go back to playing tennis. I would be able to enjoy walking around the park with my wife, Marge, and walking the dog. And I would just be so much happier. And so that's going to get them into a frame of mind of, I really need to fix this right now. So this whole spin selling process, it's as much for you as it is for them, because they're going to paint this picture in their mind and they're going to realize how big of a problem this is for them. And then they're going to see with this need payoff stage what their life would look like if they fixed this problem. They're going to realize, I really need to do something about this now. And so that's what it's going to do for them, the prospect. It's going to get them into a frame of mind where they're ready to spend their money. And then for you, it's going to help you to understand how to better close that prospect, better sell to them. And when you're going through this questioning phase, the spin selling questioning phase, where you're talking about each of the 4 stages, the situation, problem, implication, you get the point, need, payoff, whatever. When you're talking about all those phases, you want to mirror things back to people. I don't know the exact term for this. I might have made the word up for mirroring. I've got no idea. It's probably got an actual name. But it's basically when you're actively listening and you summarize back what people have said to you. So let's say they go, oh yeah, I've had this bad back pain. It's affected me in X, Y, and Z ways. And I can't do X, Y, and Z. Then you might listen to them for 2 minutes. And then when they finish speaking, you want to summarize, not in the exact same words. You don't want to copy them and mimic them, but summarize back to them. You might be like, so you've got this back pain in the lower left of your back, and it's really affecting your life because you're not able to play tennis anymore. You're not able to go outside and spend time with your wife and go for a walk and take the dog for a walk and blah, blah, blah. And then you let them speak, because what that will do is it'll make them feel more understood. So they might be like, yeah, exactly. They will feel understood by you. And if you miss anything, it'll also give them a chance to clarify something. So then they might be like, yeah, you're right. And blah, 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 blah. And they might add some stuff on. So it's going to help them feel a lot more connected to you, and it's going to help you clarify that you have listened properly. So mirror, mirror, mirror. That's the questioning phase. Once we've finished questioning phase, you know everything about them. You know their pain points. You know how to close them. And you also are going to tie in what you're going to talk about in this pitch phase with what they talked about in the questioning phase. Okay, so you're not just going to say, this program is great because of X, Y, and Z. You say, you told me that you are really busy and don't have time, so this is going to be perfect because my program, you're going to get X, which isn't, you know what I mean? So you're tying things back to what they said in the questioning phase. Okay? So now that we know exactly how to sell them, we're going to pick 3 program features or benefits. I like to talk about benefits. A feature might just be you get weekly calls with me or monthly calls with me. You'll get WhatsApp support, and you'll get access to an online course that will help you with movements for back pain, right? That's features. That can work. I've done it in the past successfully, so it definitely can work. But I like to sell more benefit, intangible things. So rather than saying, yeah, you're going to get weekly call, WhatsApp support, you might say, the first thing that you're going to get that I know is going to be so beneficial to you is you're going to get a lot of support and accountability from me. We're going to have weekly calls together, and you're going to get access to me via voice and text message. And then you give an example of why that's going to be beneficial to them based on what they've said. So you might say, you mentioned that in the past you've tried things and you haven't really had that accountability, and you've fallen off the bandwagon because no one's been in your ear. And that's exactly what's different about this program. I'm going to be there for you. We're going to be on calls. We're going to be outside of those calls. You're going to have me in your back pocket, ready to go. So that's an example of how you might sell not just a feature, but also the benefit around that feature as well. So features, benefits, doesn't matter. Just pick 3 things. Don't overwhelm them. That's why I don't think you want to say, we got this in the program. People don't care. Going back to video 1, people care about the transformation you're going to give them. They don't really care about how they're going to get there. Sell them the journey. Sell them you're going to go and be skiing in the Swiss Alps with beautiful weather and awesome snow. You want to sell them that. You don't want to sell them, hey, you're going to fly in economy class next to a sweaty old 80-year-old man who's coughing the whole time, and then you're going to take a bus and it's going to take so long and blah, blah, blah. Don't sell them that part. Just sell them the dream. Sell them the transformation. Sell them the benefits of of each of the things you'll give them. Okay? Makes sense? 3 things. Sell benefits, not features. Only do that after you've done your spin selling questions, and then relate that stuff back to, relate what you've told them, the 3 benefits / features, back to what they've told you in the spin selling question discovery phase. And once you've done that, they know about your program, then we're going to ask for the sale. And that's where the fun begins, because oftentimes people will say yes, but more often than not, This is when you have to roll up your sleeves, put your sales shirt on or sales hat on, and really earn that sale. Okay. Now, if that's beyond the scope of what I want to go through right now, I'm not going to go through how to, for example, objection handle and answer every little objection they might have. For example, I want to talk to my partner, or it's too much, or can I think about it, that kind of stuff. I'm not going to spend the next 30, 40, 50, 60 minutes going through that stuff. That can be for another day, another video. But we're going to ask for the sale, and then after we've asked for the sale, that's when the sale begins, the true sale begins, and we're going to have to deal with their objections and build certainty and really find the best way to sell them. And if you want a good book on that, I'd recommend I think it's called Straight Line Persuasion, or The Way of the Wolf. Jordan Belfort, The Wolf of Wall Street. He's got really good books in that. He's got a really good book on sales. He calls it the straight line method. And if you want a really good book on closing people, then read that. So the two sales books I'd recommend are Spin Selling, to go through what we've gone through in more depth, and then the Jordan Belfort's sales book. I don't know what it's called. Okay? Those two books will help you with your sales and turn you into a really good salesperson. But the number one thing you can do to practice your sales is to actually practice it. Just practice it with your friends, practice it in the mirror, record yourself, watch the video back, jump on sales calls, and you'll get better faster doing that than any other books or courses you'll watch or read. So now we have clients. People have come into your world through ads or social media. You've booked a call with you, you've jumped a sales call, and you've sold them into your high ticket program. Great, congratulations. You now have clients paying you good money. But how do we scale that to 50K per month and beyond? That is what I'm going to talk about in the next video. We're going to tie everything up in that last 5th video, and it is going to be epic. So I will see you there. Goodbye.